How about now? Fancy a walk to the town?
That sounds wonderful. Everyone says the Broken Wheel Tavern is the fun place to be in the evening. I want you to take me there.
Have you ever been to a tavern?
Me and my father used to stop at the tavern in the glade when he was taking the flour into town, but he never wanted to take me inside. What do you think, Hal? Shall we go?
Well, I don't see why not. But you'll have to try some ale while you're there.
I will, I promise.
Let's be going then.
Go to taverns a lot, do you?
Sometimes. If I want a proper meal, I have to. You wouldn't want to eat the stuff I cook.
That's true. I haven't forgotten that bet you made back in Skalitz that time.
Don't talk about those oat cakes. Fritz's belly heaves at the very mention, even now.
And that's where you go to woo wenches, is it?
Yeah, naturally. The taverns and baths are where the best ones gather.
You lout.
There's no need to take it the wrong way.
I'm not taking it any way at all.
It's all right. I'm only joking. I don't go picking up women in taverns. I prefer a different sort.
What sort might that be?
All mouth and green eyes.
You're such a...
Come on then. So, here we are. Shall we order something?
Yes, definitely.
Service?
Ah, a pair of lovebirds. What would you like to order?
Is it all right?
It's excellent.
This ale, there's no better in the province.
You know what?
What? What are you doing? Oh, no.
Oh,
But really?
yes. Oh, come on, be brave.
No, I've never...
Hand on my hip.
I don't even know how.
And off we go.
But really, I don't know how.
You're doing just fine.
All right. Oh,
All right.
it's fine. All right. Oh, very nice. Not so bad. You wore me out.
And you said you couldn't dance.
How about a dance with a real man?
How about you leave me alone and bother someone else?
Oh, come on. It's a crime to waste a body like that on a scrawny boy like him. You got tits like a cow in calf. Ah, that's it. I like a woman to fight before I fuck her. You'll pay for that, boy.
My hero. Does it hurt?
You should worry about the other fella. I'm fine. Ow!
Of course you are. That's why you wince every time I touch you. You saw him off, though. He wasn't feeling so playful after you'd finished with him.
That tickles.
Baby.
So, you'll probably be fine. But try to give your hands some rest. Don't go lifting anything too heavy.
Thank you.
Answer the bell from me.
Can I take you home?
You never give up. Are you sure you don't need a bit more rest? I can find my own way home.
I'll manage those few extra steps.
Come on then, hero.
I'll give you this. Nights out with you might be painful, but they're never boring.
I do my best.
You should go in before Peshek starts fretting.
Where have you been? All that bold talk and then you disappear? That's not the kind of man I need.
But I've...
We waited for you while people here suffered, damn it. We could have caught the ones who did it, and because of you, they've run off.
Because I...
Silence! I don't want to hear it.
Ask.
I can come back later if you...
No. I saw you came with the soldiers, and the sooner you know everything, the sooner you'll catch those savages.
I'm sorry to trouble you, man, but could you tell me about the raid?
The noise woke us up. Me and Smill. We thought the horses were restless, or maybe some drunk had staggered here from the inn.
Go on.
My husband went out to see what was going on. Then I just heard loud voices and screaming. It's so stupid. It didn't even occur to me at first that something could have happened to Smill. I didn't find out until the morning.
Did you recognize any of the voices you heard?
No, but they spoke Czech, cursing like demons, even at each other.
At each other? They quarrelled?
Yes. Something must have happened.
And where did you hear this noise?
Everywhere. It was chaos. I don't even know how many of them there were.
I mean at the very start. Do you remember where you heard the noise come from then?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Did you get a look at them? There's one man, huge and dressed all in black. Did you see him?
No, I didn't.
Who should I question about the raid? Did anyone here see anything?
Jacob, the old stable boy. He even fought with them.
From what I've heard, Mark was the first one to wake. It might be a good idea to talk to him.
Ginger was sleeping in the stable. He might have seen something.
I don't know of anyone else.
Goodbye.
Another useless soldier coming to ask questions. You should have fucking been here last night.
What's wrong with your arm? Oh dear. That looks painful.
That's all you gotta say about it. You useless prick.
What in the world happened here?
The bastards attacked us. At night, a little before dawn.
And how did you come by that wound?
I heard someone talking, so I went to look outside. Then I saw what they'd done to the horses. I shouted at those bastards. Caught one by the cloak and started beating him.
Without a weapon? With just your fists?
Yeah. But he cut me pretty good, the fucker. Lucky for me, the others started to come out then, so the raiders ran. All that's left is his cloak.
And you've got no idea why they did it?
Something must have gone wrong for them. They ran off without taking anything.
There's one man in particular. Huge. Dressed all in black. Voice loud enough to crack stone. Did you see him?
Who the fuck do you think half killed me?
So he really was here. The bastard.
Can you help me?
Help you? And how have you helped me?
Where have you been? While you were gone, we found a dead brigand in the woods. The others are probably long gone by now.
Did you learn anything?
No, he was already dead. Go and take a look if you want. One of my men is still standing guard, just to be sure.
Where is he exactly?
A bit north of Neuhof in the woods. You can't miss it.
Thank you. I'll go and take a look. Are you well?
Leave me alone. Go away.
But there's no need to be afraid. With your help, I'll find those bastards and then I'll make them pay.
They deserve it. What do you need to know?
What actually happened here?
They killed the animals and... Why did they kill them?
Think carefully now. How did it all start?
We heard the animals, their shrieks, then Smill. He shouted, and they murdered him.
You're certain it was the animals first, and then Smill? Not the other way round?
I'm certain. I'd never heard a sound like that before. Now I'll never forget it.
Did they take anything?
No.
What happened after that?
We ran outside and it was chaos. Animals were dying, the stables were burning, and those demons everywhere.
The stables were already burning. Didn't that happen after they fled?
No. It was to set the blaze when they arrived.
You said they were demons?
No, just vermin. Worthless human vermin.
How many of them were there?
Not many. There were just a few that came after us, but more round the back. I heard them yelling at each other.
So they were yelling because of all the noise?
No, something happened. They quarrelled.
In the back? Where?
Towards the woods. To the north. They were trying to get away.
So some of them were running away and the others were fighting?
Aye. For a time. Then more of us came out and we fought back, so the others fled as well.
Where? Where did they run to?
To the north. Into the woods.
Thanks. That's all I needed to ask. Do you know whose hoofpick this is?
Ginger's. He was always bragging about it. Why do you ask?
I found it on one of the bandits in the woods.
But he... Because of him? Because of him they murdered us? Lord in heaven!
Wait, hold on. You think Ginger was responsible for the attack?
He ran off! Don't you see? He was acting so strange and then he ran off! Why the hell would he do that?
That does sound rather odd. And you don't know where Ginger could have gone?
Dunno. Ask Jakob.
Good health to you.
I'm looking for a stable boy from Neuhof.
Then why aren't you looking for him at the stud farm?
Because he fled from there and supposedly went to see some charcoal burners.
He didn't come here. You'll have to try elsewhere.
Good luck. Good day to you.
Could you help me?
Depends what you want, doesn't it?
I'm looking for Ginger, a stable boy from Neuhof. They say he ran away and joined up with some charcoal burners he used to hang around with sometimes.
Sorry, there's never been a lad called Ginger around here. You have to try somewhere else.
A murder's been committed at Neuhof, and that boy likely knows who did it. It's vital I find him.
There's been murder aplenty in these parts of late, but that Ginger lad really hasn't been here.
There'll be a lot less murdering going on once I bring those bastards to justice, so how about helping me out?
Calm down, lad. For the love of God. There's been no one like the boy you want round here. But then again, there are other charcoal burners. Try them. You might want to hurry. You're not the first to be asking about him, and the others weren't exactly a noble-looking bunch, although they were generous with their silver.
They didn't happen to say what they wanted him for?
No, but they definitely didn't look like they wanted to invite him to a feast.
Do you have any idea where else he could have gone?
You said he was friends with the charcoal burners? Well, you'll definitely find some in the forest between Neuhof and Ujetz. There's good spots around there.
But that forest is huge. I could spend weeks searching.
Then follow the river. That's how you found us, isn't it? Where there's charcoal burners, there's always water nearby.
All right, I'll go and ask somewhere else.
Farewell.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I'm searching for a stable boy from Neuhof. They call him Ginger.
I know him right enough, but I don't know where he is now.
He's run away from the stud farm. I have to find him.
Well, he's definitely not here. Try the other charcoal burners camp downstream. Maybe he's there.
God be with you.
I'm searching for a stable boy from Neuhof. They call him Ginger.
Yeah, I know him right enough, but I don't know where he is now.
He's run away from the stud farm. I have to find him.
Well, he's definitely not here. Try the other charcoal burners camp downstream. Maybe he's there.
God be with you, good sir.
I'm looking for Ginger, a stable boy from Neuhof.
Then why don't you look for him at the stud farm?
He was there, but now they say he's hiding amongst some charcoal burners.
And where did you hear that? Anyhow, there's no one of that description here. Try asking somewhere else.
I've been to the other camps and they told me I'd definitely find him here.
How could they know that? They just wanted to get rid of you.
I wouldn't say that. They realise I'm trying to help.
Oh, aye? And how's that?
That boy witnessed a murder and probably killed one of the murderers. I'm sure those cutthroats are already looking for him, and if I could find my way here, so could they. And when they do, they won't be asking their questions as nicely as I have.
Aye. Well, as it happens, they've already been here. And you're right, they weren't pleasant. It's my duty to protect these men, and I fear I won't be able if that pair come back.
Well then, what are we going to do?
We're going to do it my way. First you get rid of those two murdering dogs, and then I'll tell you what I know.
We already crossed paths and it didn't end well for them.
What happened? Did they get the plague?
What? What are you...
Sounds to me like you're just saying what I want to hear. I don't believe you killed them.
I did. If you want, I can...
I'd like to hear what your Sir Hanush would have to say about it. I don't believe a word coming out of your mouth, and I won't until you come back here with men from the castle garrison. Good health to you, sir.
I've taken care of those two cutthroats.
You do look like you've been in a fight with someone.
If you think I look bad, you should see how they ended up.
How'd they end up?
They're dead. So, what was it you wanted to tell me?
Ginger was here, but the lads hid him away somewhere. I suppose there's no need for that anymore. He's in no danger now, is he? And nor are we.
That's right. You're safe now.
All right. They're hiding him nearby. A little way along the route to Ujits, there's a path to the right leading to a spring. From there, you'll find an overgrown trail to a ruined hut.
Finally, some useful information. Thank you, charcoal burner. Jesus, you've led me a merry dance.
What do you want from me?
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you run off like that? Where are your cronies? And why did you kill that bandit?
What?
Right, one thing at a time. Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
To get revenge on you for killing their mate?
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
I'm looking for your friends. Where are they?
The charcoal burners? They're over at the...
To hell with the charcoal burners. Where are your bandit mates?
They're not my mates. They nearly killed me. I recognized one of them, so I thought they'd come back and...
Recognized? Who was it? Talk!
I don't know his name, only that he's from Ujits, and he has a limp.
What can you tell me about him? How do you know him?
I saw him a few times in the tavern in Ujits, playing dice and boozing.
And?
I know he lives in a house on the edge of the village, but that's all I know. I never talked to him.
And now tell me exactly what happened. And don't leave anything out.
That's quite a long story.
Don't worry, I won't get bored.
All right. I woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to go for a piss. So I went out into the dark, same as usual, only there was something there that shouldn't have been. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, but it wasn't. Then it was too late. They went past, and I thought they must be horse thieves. I would have yelled, only I was afraid they'd kill me. So I waited until they were out of sight, and I started to sneak away. But then...
Then the slaughtering started.
Yes. I thought they'd steal the horses and ride off. That would be bad enough, but then all the killing started and flames everywhere. It was terrible, like hell itself.
And then?
It seemed some of them didn't like it either. They started squabbling among themselves, and some of them started running back where they came from, right towards me. And I had that thing in my hand, the hoof pick.
So you stabbed the first one in the belly?
No. He ran right into me. He was running fast for a fellow with a limp. He pushed me aside and I fell on the ground. Then he told me I'd better lie low if I valued my life. He ran off with the others. I did what he said and hid. Then the rest of the gang ran past.
And then?
Then I waited in case that limping one from Ujits came back. I didn't dare come out until I was sure. I think it was almost light.
What about the others? Was there anything you noticed about them?
I don't know. There might have been maybe 8 of them, and 2 of them were really big. That's all I can remember.
Do you know what they argued about?
I didn't hear everything, but I reckon some of them were only there to steal and wanted no part in the killing.
That sounds terrible. I know exactly how you feel.
If only I yelled. Maybe they...
If you had, you'd most likely be dead. It probably wouldn't have done any good anyway.
But still...
There was nothing you could do. That's all. And now tell me exactly what happened. And don't leave anything out.
That's quite a long story.
You don't have to tell me everything, just who they were and where they went.
I only recognized one of them. A fellow from Ujits with a limp. He lives in a house on the edge of the village, but he's in the tavern there whenever he has the coin.
What else do you know?
Nothing. That's all.
I've heard everything I need to hear, so I'll leave you be.
Wait! What about me? Won't you help me out?
Perhaps I could. What would you like?
I'd like to go back to the stud farm, but those cutthroats who want to kill me are still around. Will you help me?
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really? That's great, but...
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it all. I don't know if they'll even want to talk to me.
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to them, they're sure to understand.
I suppose you're right. Thank you for your help, and God bless you.
I'll be with you.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it, then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzik will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
Greetings. What business have you?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
One of the Neuhoff stable boys, a lad they called Ginger, fled from there and hid out with some charcoal burners. I have to say, there's a lot of them around. I never thought how many forges and ironworks they have to supply.
That's true, but keep to the point.
Oh, yes, sir. I had quite a job finding him. He was well hidden and with good reason. The bandits wanted to kill him because he recognized one of them.
Did he tell you what happened?
He said it wasn't one gang, but 2. and one of them took fright when the slaughter started. Seems they were only interested in loot, so they quarrelled with the other lot. Then it came to a skirmish in the woods, and one of them was killed. And the rest of them scattered.
And did you find out where they went?
All I know is one of them is from Ujits. I know enough about him to be able to track him down.
All right, but those cutthroats must know who he is too, right? And if they want to get revenge on him or silence him, you'd better hope they don't get to him before you. So drop everything and get on his trail. Find out what he knows and then report back to me. I'm going to our encampment at Merhaya to oversee the security of the region.
Yes, sir. Why choose Merhaya?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
The trail leads to Ujits. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubosh.
I see. What else?
That's all I found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything new.
Greetings, Henry.
Would you like to get up to some more mischief? It was fun the last time.
Yes, it was. I'm a bit surprised you thought so too.
Although a girl doesn't get a chance to tend the wounds of a gallant defender every day. Shall we play blind man's buff?
That's really what you want to do?
I know it's a game for children,
but I always liked it, and I won't feel stupid playing it with you.
All right, why not?
Good. Then follow me.
I'll cover my eyes.
Well, they do say love is blind.
Cheeky boy.
But this is a game you won't be winning. I've got ears sharper than a bat.
And I'm as stealthy as a cat. You'll never find me.
We'll see. But if you leave the barn, you lose. Come here. Come on, spin me around. What are you waiting for?
Blind I may be, deaf I'm not. Make a sound, and you'll get got. How does it go after that?
It doesn't matter. Go and hide. You're a sneaky one. How come I didn't hear you?
Oh no! I've left clothes out to dry. We have to bring them in before they get soaked.
It's sopping wet.
Not afraid of thunderstorms, are you?
Not anymore.
Shouldn't we spread the linen out?
Henry, hush now.
About that evening.
Ah, yes. I never thanked you properly for helping me with the laundry. That storm would have carried it off to God knows where.
Oh, I think you thanked me enough. But next time we should take shelter somewhere else. That hayseed gets into places it shouldn't, and itches like mad.
Henry, you donkey. You really know how to sweet-talk a girl, don't you? And anyway, what do you mean by next time? Just what exactly do you have in mind for the two of us?
How do you see things?
Me? Well, when you're not behaving like a total nincompoop. I kind of like being with you.
I behave like a nincompoop?
Yes, like now answering a question with another question. How do you see it with us, Henry? If I really must say it, I like you very much. And you saved my life in Skalitz.
And you saved mine. So we're even. Well, we'll be together. Like a couple. And when the time comes, you'll take me as your husband, right?
You're full of yourself, aren't you? But that's not how things are done.
Well, obviously, under normal circumstances, I'd ask your pa for your hand, but...
Papa? Yes. He'd set the dogs on you. Now you'd have to get Uncle Peshek's blessing.
I reckon I'd have no better luck with him. Unless he saw a way to profit from it.
And I'd have a sack of flour for my dowry. But seriously, Henry, what kind of husband would you make? You can't sit still in one place for an hour at a time.
Well, I've got a lot of duties, but... I'm very fond of you, you know. And maybe one day...
I know, you silly sod. We can't get married yet. But we can still see each other and be fond of each other.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
Aye, he lives here all right. The devil take him. In a cottage at the end of the village by the road to Neuhof.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
If that's what you call nothing to see, I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Another thing about Lubosh. The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians? Worse than the murderer escaping punishment?
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Farewell. I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj panuje swej smutek, do dnielo i rano utek, niech ich małżeński majstrat, do wczorajszylne staje prak. Už sejmoj svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejmě i kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Půlky se váby a do rána slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejden. Tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!
Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
It's you! You crippled someone! You should have thought twice about what you're doing. That will land you a fat fine.
All right, that's enough. Maybe you didn't realise, but I'm in the service of the Lord of Ratai. So you better keep that in mind.
Sure. And you think that makes you above the law? Think again.
Oh well, what can I do? Here you are.
You've purged yourself before the law. but I'll be keeping an eye on you. You can be sure of that.
Father, didn't I see you outside practicing swordplay? I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practiced with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet's women to witchery.
A little bird told you, did it?
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep, then nothing at all. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous plants and other foul things go into those concoctions. I'd hate to see her poison some poor gullible lass.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Consider it done.
Good. And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods. Good luck to you.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
Sir, I met the parish priest of Ujet's, and I must say he's a very interesting man.
I should say so. Have you ever seen him at swordplay? Not bad for a man of the cloth, is he? Rumour has it, when he finished his studies at the university where his father sent him, he decided the religious life wasn't for him, and vanished to foreign parts. They say he made a living as a mercenary. I even heard he fought against the Turk at the Battle of Kosovo, and then he suddenly came back and settled down here. No doubt it cost his family plenty, but he's a fair man and I'm fond of him. There's a lot to be said for a priest with a good understanding of vice.
Sir Hanish, Father Godwin in Ujet's is causing me problems.
What? You too? But I don't suppose you're getting visits from the diocese.
No, sir. I tracked down that bandit from Neuhoff, but he'd been killed. He confessed to Godwin before he died. Only Godwin won't tell me what he said. I tried to come to some arrangement with him, and now he won't talk to me at all.
Well, the confessional seal is sacred, and Godwin has his own mind. There are those who would tell you everything for a handful of coin or a keg of wine. You're one of those right here in the presbytery. But Godwin won't budge once he's made his mind up. Except maybe for the bishop.
But that's not an option here.
I know, lad. I'm afraid I can't help you. If no one in Ujet's knows anything, you have even less chance here. We did have some troublemaker from Ujet's in the pillory here once, but whether it was the fellow you're after... It might be worth having a look at the Rate Black Chronicle, or ask the scribe.
It's worth a try. Thank you for the advice, sir.
Good health to you, sir.
Do you know if there's anyone around here who could use my help?
Aye, there could be something for you. Berthold, our local gamekeeper, was looking for help with something a while back. Why don't you ask him if he still needs help? And that's not all. You're the blacksmith son from Scullets, ain't you? The bailiff here could probably use you. He's got some jobs for the Scullets refugees, but he's not sure who's good for what. He was moaning about it here yesterday. And that's not all. Sir Anish is convening the Ratoi tourney again at the Upper Castle. It's always a great occasion with duels all day long. You can still enroll tomorrow, if you think you're good enough.
Good health to you, sir.
I need to have a look in the Black Chronicle, Friedrich.
And I need blessed relief from my suffering. May the Lord have mercy.
Well, I don't know what I can do for you except bring you a priest.
I'm not dying yet. I just can't get up.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm on the trail of those killers from Neuhof, and I need to know the names of the men who were sentenced alongside Limpy Lubosch from Ujitz.
I can't remember. Once I write the record down, it goes straight out of my head.
It's essential that I find out those names. Is there anything I can do to help you get back to work?
I can't go to work when I can't stand on my feet. Konyash the apothecary has an embrocation that helps, but it costs dearly. If you brought me some, it might do the trick.
All right, I'll try and get some for you.
May the Lord watch.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I'm on the trail of the bandits who raided Neuhof, and I need to look in the Black Chronicle. I'm hoping there might be a record of one Lubosch from Ujitz and his accomplices.
Lubosch from Ujitz, eh? Called Limpy?
Yes, that's the fellow. You remember him?
I remember him and the other two reprobates who were disturbing the peace here.
Do you remember their names?
Only this Limpy stuck in my mind. I can't remember every wastrel who passes through here. There was one from Vlashim and a third one from somewhere nearby. I can't remember where. But that should all be in the Black Chronicle. All you have to do is take a look. Only...
What?
I can't let you do that alone. And Friedrich the Scribe is at home sick. You can go and see him. Tell him I sent you and work something out with him. Take care.
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
Nothing of interest to me, thank Christ.
You look like you've got a lot on your plate, Master Bailiff. Is work keeping you busy?
Busy? I've had so many visitors, I wouldn't wonder if the door fell off its hinges.
What's going on?
I've been given the task of putting some of the Skalitz refugees to work. It's not that there's a shortage of jobs, the problem's sharing them out fairly.
I understand. Everyone has mouths to feed.
The worst part is they won't tell you who really needs a job the most, but you might be able to help, Henry.
How?
They're like to be more honest with you, so you can find out who's in the most need. And you can decide for yourself who'll do what. Will you help?
If you need help, I'll do whatever I can.
You're a godsend. I'm sure it won't take too long. You know how the refugees are getting on, don't you? But ask around if you need to find out more.
What kind of work are we talking about?
Well, old Hagen is looking for a cook, and we need 5 carriers.
A cook and 5 water carriers? That sounds simple enough. Is there a problem?
A little. We need 3 water carriers, but the other 2 will have to carry, begging your pardon, shit. Or as the Pope would say, excrement.
Is there anyone who can tell me more about it?
Yes, the merchant Conrad Hagen is the one looking for a cook, so you can talk to him. And young Alex will know which of the Skalitz folk are best suited to the job.
How come that's such a cause for concern?
For one thing, they're afraid of me, and I can't get a straight answer out of any of them. So how the hell am I supposed to make the right choice?
Oh, they're desperate. You can't blame them.
I don't, but I might end up picking some good-for-nothing who'll just booze his wages away.
Can you tell me anything more about the cook?
You'll have to ask Hagen yourself. I couldn't get a straightforward answer out of him. Maybe he's changed his mind.
What do I need to know about the water carriers?
We need 3. Right now, some of the burgers' hands are doing the job.
And they need to go all the way down to the river for water?
Of course, where else would they get it? Gallows Hill? It's not an easy job, but someone has to do it.
What can you tell me about the other carriers?
It's dirty, but it's a job that needs to be done. There'll be more than enough work for them. Some places are overflowing.
Sounds disgusting. Why would anyone want the job?
If all else fails, I'll pay 2 groschen for every 1 I pay the water carriers. That might convince someone.
That's all I need to know.
Good luck, then.
Farewell. God be with you.
I bought you the embrocation, and you were right, it certainly wasn't cheap.
I know, lad. I've been using it for years.
Will you let me have a look at the Black Chronicle?
Well, you helped me, so now I'll help you. Come along, and I'll show you our Black Chronicle.
That really is a miraculous ointment. You haven't even rubbed it on and it's already working.
You know how it is. Faith itself is the greatest healer. Just thinking about the relief it will bring makes me feel better. So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Come along. Take care now.
Could you find something for me in that book? The thing is, I don't,
Don't know how to read, do you? So what do you need to know?
I'm trying to track down those Neuhoff cutthroats, and I need to find out the names of any cronies of Limpy Lubosch from Ujitz.
Give me a while. Good luck.
So did you find any mention of Limpy in the book?
I did. Apart from Lubosch, there's mention of some Anton from Vlashim and Hinek, known as Riki, from Ledechko.
Ledechko? That's a stone's throw from here.
Aye. Certainly closer than Vlashim.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you for that ointment.